Coach, who would give an opening statement about being here this weekend, and we'll take questions.
Well, I know our crowd will be fired up. There's going to be some great matches. So 4 great teams here. It's a great regional, so there should be a lot of exciting volleyball, and I think our team's fired up for the challenge.
Questions?
Lexi, what does it mean for you to be here? I mean, is this what you expect to happen this time of year, but to be in the regional round, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. Every team at the beginning of the year has a goal to make it to the last game. And I mean, we're in the round of 16, soon to be round of 8 if we win. And I think that just being here and not taking for granted any game that we get to play, especially at home, is a big deal to us. So I think we're all really blessed to be here and just excited to keep competing.
John, Lexi for Dayton, is there anything impressive about what she does hitting at that size?
Yeah, she reminds me a lot of our Arkansas girl last year. She's just undersized, but man, she's a heck of a player. Does everything great. And she gets a ton of swings. So whatever she's taken, I want some of it because she's held up really, really good.
How do you, could you line up again across the net from those outside hitters? How do you approach playing an undersized player with her type of athleticism?
Yeah, I mean, we approach it pretty much the same as we approach anyone else. She's a really good player, and we know she's going to get a lot of balls. And so just making sure we know her tendencies and know what she wants to do, and that way in certain situations I kind of know what to expect. But I would say we treat them the same way as if we were playing Sarah Franklin or whoever. Like, we treat all of them the same way and just try to make sure that I know what they want to do in certain situations.
So 5'8" jumper versus a 6'4" power hitter, no difference for you?
No, no difference.
John, just the parity of the sport right now. You're watching this Oregon Pitt game. It's any team's night. How important is it to come out from the start and play as hard as you can?
I've been talking about that to our team all year. There's no, and that's one of the great things about the Big Ten. There's no easy nights. You have to bring it every night. So I think we've developed that mindset of how we have to play every night, and now the margins are a little bit narrower because if you have an off night, then as John Baylor says, you have more time for finals. So we're hoping we don't have any time for finals, but I think our team's done an awesome job of that this year, of bringing it every night, especially in the Big Ten, and that's one of the reasons we're able to win it is because of that mindset. So here it is, and it just gets magnified and a little more intense now, even though everybody says it's just another match, but there is a little bit more riding on it, and our team's handled it great this year.
Coach, Dayton's got over 30 wins. This is one of their best seasons in program history. Just what can you speak on what you've seen from them and just how maybe they're carrying that success? And they just said it, they're playing fearless. Yeah,
they've got a lot of confidence. They do everything really well. They've got a great player who leads them, and they're an older team. They have a lot of seniors, graduates, so they've been playing together for a long time. And it's college volleyball. When you get that combination, you have a chance to be really good. And they've really taken advantage of that, and have had anytime you win 30 matches in college volleyball, you've had a great season.
Lexi and Merritt, can you talk about the mindset of this team right now? Is it kind of just a relaxed, trust in the training type of thought process, or are there still some nerves as we get closer and closer to an end goal?
I think it's inevitable to have nerves or anxiousness, but I think ultimately we just have so much drive and so much trust in one another, and we want to play for each other, and that's I think what's gonna drive us as these next few matches is that we're trying to do it for the person next to each other, and hopefully at the end of the day that will be enough to get us to a national championship, which is what we want.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Lexi said, it's just, I think right now we're just trying to simplify it a lot, and obviously like she said, there's going to be nerves and there's going to be emotions and things like that, but just trying to simplify it and just remind each other that like we do this every day, like we're just playing another volleyball game, and that way we're able to kind of remain calm in those really big moments. I think just kind of like grounding ourselves and being where we're supposed to be at that moment is really what's helping us.
Merritt, you guys, the defense was on display in the opening 2 rounds. Just what has worked so well alongside the middle blockers at the front of the net for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think our scouting reports have been so spot on that it makes our job pretty easy. And you have to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff in that aspect of like, we're very well prepared going into the matches that we're playing. And so that helps us a ton, but also just, we've kind of built this like trust within each other, whether it's middles or Pins or Lexi and whoever's playing back row, that like we're able to adjust on the fly. And I think that's something that we kind of struggled with maybe a little bit earlier on, i.e. like SMU, things like that. We've kind of learned from those matches of like, okay, sometimes it's not always going to be spot on, and how are we going to adjust in those moments? And so we've kind of just opened that communication between front row and back row. So if we need to adjust something and figure something out, we can. And sometimes we don't even have to like let it get to the point where the coaches have to tell us. We kind of just make small adjustments on our own, and just having that open communication from front row to back row at all times so that we're all on the same page.
Lexi, how helpful has it been to be home this week too? I mean, everyone else is traveling. To be one of the top 4 seeds, to play this week at home, how helpful has that been?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's literally everything, and that's why everyone works so hard throughout the years to get a top 4 seed. And I think just being able to play in front of our fan base is something that's a big factor for us, and I think it really motivates us and helps us. And so I think that's huge. And then just being able to stay in a routine by being in your own bed and going to get food where we normally do. Like, I think that helps more than you think it does, just to get in the right headspace for the upcoming matches.
What are the emotions like for both of you, knowing this is your last weekend at the Vandy Center?
I think just trying to like enjoy it as much as I can. And then, I mean, that's like the biggest why that you could have, is just trying to do whatever you can to get our team to the next game, the next round of whatever it is. And so I think it's sad, obviously, but I think we obviously want to end our time here on a high note.
Do or die. Honestly, like that's kind of where we're at right now, but I think I'm trying not to think about it in that way and just like taking it one step and one game at a time, because it is like a heavy thing and it's pretty emotional, so I just don't let myself think about it.
Yeah.
Coach Merritt was talking about the communication improving. Obviously, you and Jalen do a lot of coaching in matches, but just where have you seen the team make those adjustments during the matches?
Well, it's something you are doing all the time. We do it in practice, we do it in matches. So it doesn't matter who we're playing. It's the same every week, every match. So it just becomes habit and routine for us. And we have our own language that we've developed, that if we're playing somebody, we can pull something out that remind them of adjustment we have to make. So it's kind of, we have a secret code that we can, in the match, we can say that word, and they know exactly what they need to do. So we're not sitting there and having to explain it and go over. It's just kind of code words that we have.
Final questions?
Coach, Dayton's coach spoke highly of you, of just like a big person for the game of volleyball. What can you say about your relationship or knowing him? I know you guys have played Dayton in the past in the opening rounds.
Yeah, he's one of the Warriors, has been around for a long time. He's done a great job. He was in Maryland for a while, and but he's just done a great job with Dayton. He kind of flies under the radar because they're not in a big conference, but you just look at him year to year. He's done a heck of a job there, and yeah, we've been. I just feel like he's one of the old guys, so along with me. But you know what? Look at Bill Belichick. He's way ahead of me, and I may have to go back to coaching football here. I may get on his staff.
Any final questions? All right. Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Merritt, thanks for